Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtarashatashmat Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja Srila Gurudev Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtarashatashmat Srila Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtarashatashmat Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Mahārāja Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtarashatashmat Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtarashatashmat Śrīla Bhakti Siddhāntī Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Mahabhagavat Śrīla Gopishwaras Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Śrīrūpa no Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Śrīrūpa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadash Raghunath Sādhu Gosvāmī Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Swarup Damodar Raya Ramanandari Shri Gopal Shad Vrinda Ki Jai Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrinda Jai Sarva Abhishta Bhadatta Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund Ki Jai Shri Muna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Nitilapa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtarashatashmat Srila Bhakti Śrīrūpa Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shinitai Gaur Primanande Hari Hari Bo. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Oh yeah, first, before we read this article by Srila Bhakti Śrīrūpa Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, the second part of the article, first we're going to do our Kesha Vrat Kirtans. First, Shri Vrinda Devashtakam by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and then after, Shri Keshavashtakam. So, we'll be doing this until mid-May. Forgot exactly the day, maybe May 13th or something. Okay, one second. Let me just get the Mridanga. Okay. Gange achampe atarir vinindi rochi pravaha snapitatma vrinde panduka bandhu dyuti devavaso vrinde namaste charanaravindam Bimbadaro de Paramandahasya Nasagramukta Duti Dipitase Vichittaratna Paranashiyade Vrinde Namaste Charanaravindam Samasta Vaikunta Shiro Manoshi Krishnasya Vrindavana Dhanya Dhani Tattadhikare Vrishabhanuputra Vrinde Namaste Charanaravindam Taragyaya Palava Pushpa Bringa Vrigadibir Madhava Keli Kunja Madhvadibir Bhanti Vibhushamana Vrinde Namaste Charanaravindam Tadiya Dutena Nekunjayono Atutkayot Keli Vilasa Siddhi Tvatsobhagam Kena Niruchatam Tarvinde Namaste Charanaravindam Rasa Vilasho Vasatisha Vrinda Vane Tvare Shangri Saroja Seva Labhya cha pungsam kripaya tavaiva Vrinde namaste charanarvindam Tam kirta se satvata tantra virvir Lila bhitana kila Krishna shaktis Tavaiva murtes tulasi nirloke Vrinde namaste charanarvindam Bhakta vihina yaparada lakshaya Shiptashta kama ditaranga madhe Kripa mayi tvam sharanam prapana Vrinde namaste charanarvindam Vrindashta kamya shrinuyat patedva Vrindavanadisha padabja bringa Saprapya vrindavana nitavasam Tat prema sevam labhate kritartha Vrinde namaste charanarvindam Vrinde namaste charanarvindam Jai Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Vrinda Devi Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Vrinda Devi. Prananath Prabhu. Oh, never mind. There's somebody here to see me. And then I think he left. Is the sound okay? It seems like the volume isn't... Oh, actually, it looks like it's okay. All right. So now we're doing Keshavashtakam. Such a beautiful kirtan. Should we read the translation? I'll be late for prasad though. Let's just read it really quick. Every now and then we can just read it on every random day. Wearing beautiful earrings wrought from clusters of new kadamba buds, a brilliant wreath of fully blossoming malati jasmine crowning his head, and across his chest a captivating garland strung from Utica jasmine that is blooming ever so slightly. He returns from the forest lands of Vraj like a victor marching home. That Keshav I worship. I worship Keshav as he returns to Vraj from the forest lands, moving to and fro, cheerfully calling out his divine Surabhi cows. Pishangi, Manikastani, Pranatashingi, Pingekshane, Mridanga Mukhi, Dhumale, Shabali, Hamsi, Vangshi Priye. Tender in their bosom bond of friendship, they are all veritable reservoirs of tasteful cowherd boy humor, as well as experts at singing, dancing, arts, and sports, mingling now an array of splendid outfits on the paths into Vraj. I serve that Keshav who, with his words, makes these friends of his laugh with all of their hearts as they return from the forest pastures. So we have the cows, now we have the cowherd boys, now Giriraj Govardhan. Beads of perspiration gently lick his cheeks, which have been painted with charming designs of budding leaves using fragrant mineral colors, gold, red, white, blue, collected from the hills of Giriraj Govardhan, while his restless curling locks of hair mock a lustrous swarm of bees. I worship that Keshav as he returns to Vraj from the forests. And as I mentioned yesterday, all these words in parentheses are from Baladev Vijabhushan, his commentary. Eager to see their newborn calves, who are safely restrained back in the Goshta village of Vraj, many of the white Dhavala cows dash ahead, carving up the earth with the points of their hooves. I worship that Keshav who is quick to summon them back to the front of the herd with the soft melodious tones of his flute as he proceeds back to Vraj from the forests. I worship that Keshav as he returns to Vraj from the forest, deftly beautifying the roads with countless footprints, distinct with the auspicious markings of a flag, thunderbolt, etc.,
while the restless cows run ahead, kicking up so much dust that it covers his garland of forest flowers, making it look a dark reddish gray. The gentle waves of the breeze ruffles the hem of his pitambar and the tips of his peacock feather crown. From a distance, the sweet, low sound of the long Murali flute he uses in his playful pastimes delights the hearts of all the ladies of Raj, those of his mother's age, who are in their homes, and causes the hairs on their limbs to stand on end. Krishna's return, like a festival, has everyone excited. Thus, again and again, increasing the bliss in the heart of the Queen of Raj, his mother Yashoda, he returns from the forest to Vraj. I worship that Keshav. Rushing up to the path, the multitudes of beautiful girls, like so many goddesses of fortune, worship him with budding smiles and hundreds of dancing, crooked sidelong glances, while his eyes, like honeybees, rove around the edges of their breasts, which are adorned with stunning blouses, and appear to be bouquets of blossoming flowers. Oh, his eyes appear to be like, right? Oh, I don't know. I'm confused here. Anyways, I worship that Keshav as he returns to Vraj from the forests. Oh, okay, I got it. Yes, never mind. This is too high for me to... Anyway. This is a grand festival of delight for the hosts of cowherd girls. If a person following the proper process of bhajan reads and recites this 8-part poem profusely, then may the bosom boyfriend of Vishaka endow him with brilliant intelligence, grant him with unwavering love, rati or bhav, for his lotus feet, and thereby delight him for all time. Jai Shri Keshav Dev Ki Jai. Nava Priya Kamanchari Rachita Karnapura Shriya Vinidhatara Malati Kalita Shekare no Jala Tarojvasita Yutika Gratita Valkubai Kakshaka Vraje Vijayinam Bhaje Vipina Deshata Keshava Vishangi Manikastani Pranata Shingi Pinge Kshane Mridanga Mukhi Dhumale Shabali Hangsi Vangshi Priye Iti Swasurabhikulam Taralama Vayantamura Vraje Vijayinam Bhaje Vipina Deshata Keshava Karna Pranaya Meturan Madhura Narma Goshti Kala Vilasa Nilayan Milar Vivida Vesha Vedotina Satena Kila Saraya Patishuhasayan Tangira Vraje Vijayinam Bhaje Vipina Deshata Keshava Shamambu Kanika Vali Daravilida Gandantara Samuda Giri Datubir Likita Charupantram Pura Udancharale Mandale Tuti Vidam Vivakralaka Vraje Vijayinam Bhaje Vipina Deshata Keshava Nibadda Navatarnaka Vali Vilokanotkanthaya Nathat Kura Putanchalar Alogubir Bhuvam Bendatim Kalena Dhavala Ghata Lagu Nirvartayantam Pura Praje Vijayinam Paje Vipina Deshata Keshava Padankatati Birvaram Virachayantamadvashiyam Chalat Tarala Naichiki Nichaya Dolidumra Sraja Marulla Hari Chanchale Krita Dukula Churanchalam Praje Vijayinam Paje Vipina Deshata Keshava Vilasa Murali Kala Tvani Birula Sanmanasa Kshanara Kila Balavi Pulakayantamanta Krihe Muhurvidatatam Hride Pramuditancha Goshteshware Praje Vijayinam Paje Vipina Deshata Keshavam Upetapati Sundari Tati Bira Bira Vyarchitam Smitam Kurakaram Vitar Natarapanga Pangeshatai Stana Stavaka Sanchara Nayana Chanchari Kanchala Praje Vijayinam Paje Vipina Deshata Keshava Idang Nikila Ballavi Kula Mahotsavolasana Kramena Kilaya Puman Patati Shushtupadashtaka Tang Ujjalatiyam Sada Nijapadaravinda Dvaye Ratim Dadara Chanchala Sukayatad Vishaka Saka Praje Vijayinam Paje Vipina Deshata Keshava 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 Jaya Keshavadev 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 Jaya Keshavadev Jaya Keshavadev Jaya Keshavadev Keshavadev Jaya Keshavadev. Okay, I'm just putting this mridanga down. And now we're going to read this article by Srila Bhakti Śrīrūpa Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, the second part. And I just now thought maybe we should read the end of what we read yesterday, just so that we get the flow. Let me see, I think it was this one, Gaur Purnima, number 12. Yes, it's this issue. 1 second. What page is it? 26. 22. 26, here it is. Okay. So this is just a recap. Well, not recap, just the end part. So he ended by saying, okay. In his commentary, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad says, why do we have no trust or confidence in this act of yajna? Why will we not achieve anything by performing yajna? While performing acts like yajna, so many defects appear that it becomes uncertain whether or not its fruits will be achieved. Thus, because the results are uncertain due to the presence of imperfections, no one knows what result will occur and when. What is being expressed in the Rishi's statement? We have developed faith in whatever you have made us hear about, namely those matters pertaining to Bhakti and Bhagavan. This is the real path. By speaking Harikatha to us, you have arranged for us to attain Bhagavan's lotus feet. This is trustworthy. We can understand this. By the smoke of this yajna, our eyes have become like that of a blind man. People of this world hope to attain Bhagavan by performing yajna, yoga, dhyan, and so on. But there is no certainty of attaining Bhagavan by following these paths. This is because all these paths carry so many faults. Therefore, the rishis are saying that they have developed faith in the path of bhakti to the extent that Sutta Gosvāmī has spoken bhakti katha to them, and thereby made them drink the sweetness of Bhagavan. Bhakti can bestow its results directly. Many people, despite hearing something about the excellence of bhakti, nonetheless follow other paths, which lead them to karma and samsara. This harikatha is so intoxicating that by once entering into the sweetness of shravan, kirtan, and smaran, one cannot give it up or live without it, and one will most certainly relish it. This harikatha is so sweet and so intoxicating that even despite its own sweetness, it will not let us experience the happiness and distress of any other topic of this world. Such is the glory of Bhagavan's katha. At every moment, this harikatha makes us relish and experience such bhavs, such moods, so that we do not develop a liking for any other topic. It makes one forget happiness, distress, and all worldly affairs, and it intoxicates one. So that's how the last one ended, and now we're continuing on. Let's open up this Kartika 2003. There it is. Where is it? The Glories of Sādhu-saṅga. Oops. Where? What the heck? That's so weird. This 38. Okay. Let's find this. 38. There it is. There's something wrong with this. Anyhow, I think we can do it. Yeah, see how it says Anis? That should be Rishis. There's something messed up with this PDF. Anyhow, I'll be able to figure it out. Just checking everybody's there. Okay. Sādhu-saṅga, a wealth beyond compare. And by the way, this is... Oh wait, there's a thing. In the first part of this article, published in the previous issue of Rays of the Harmonist, Śrīla Bhakti Śrīrūpa Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja elucidates the deep purport of Śrīmad Bhagavatam 1:18-10-12. In these verses, the sages headed by Shanak Rishi pray to Sutta Goswami's long life and go on to profusely glorify Harikatha. They say that this katha is so sweet and relishable that one cannot give it up or live without it. Sādhu-saṅga, a wealth beyond compare. After speaking in this way, the rishis declare that they cannot estimate the value of the kind of association that bestows such harikatha. What to speak of the association of one who has in fact embraced such katha within his heart? Tulayama lavina api na swargang na punarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kim utashisha. Shanak Rishi says, this is Śrīmad Bhagavatam 1:18-13. Shanak Rishi says, the association of a Bhagavad Bhakta, that is to say, of one who has attained the direct association of Bhagavan, is very rarely achieved in the course of the jiva's destiny. We see thousands of saints and ascetics wandering about in groups, but to get the association of one who has in fact attained the association of Bhagavan, has received his darshan and has entered into his lila, is very difficult. What to speak of such a person? It is extremely rare to attain the association even of one who who has associated with such a person. How rare? Tulayama lavina api. The value of even a single moment, a lava, of such association is incomparable. I do not consider anything equal to it. Na svargam na punar bhavam. The heavenly kingdom, swarga, and liberation from matter, moksha, are generally regarded as the highest of goals, the highest of all goals. And therefore those who desire them endeavor very hard to achieve them. But Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya, the result of just a moment's association with one who is in Bhagavan's direct company, cannot be equated or compared with the attainment of even swarga or moksha. What an astonishing fact! Lava means 1/11th of a second, a very short interval, just 1/11th of a second of association. Shaunak Rishi continues, we are speaking from experience, having had the association of Sutta Goswāmī. This is our realization. It is not that we have merely heard of the glories of Sādhu-saṅga or fabricated them with our imagination. We have directly experienced them. We performed yajna for thousands of years with no result. But what we have attained in this very first instant, through only a moment's association with Sutta Goswāmī, cannot be compared to the attainment of swarga and moksha. What of similar value to Sādhu-saṅga can we possibly attain by going to swarga or achieving moksha as a result of performing yajna? Tulayama lavina api na swargam na punar bhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya. In fact, if even swarga, I don't know why I added that in. If even swarga and moksha cannot be weighed against such association, what can be said of the kingdom and seemingly unlimited wealth of mortal beings? Of what importance, then, are the great personalities of this world, the vastly learned, the immensely rich, the famous, and those of high birth and an aristocratic lineage? All are inconsequential. If swarga and moksha have become insignificant, then what comparative value can this worldly kingdom and wealth have? Eternal union with God. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad has written a wonderful commentary on this shloka. He says, Tasmat tadrisha dusha... God, it's hard to read it with all this stuff. Tasmat tadrisha Sādhu-saṅga mahanider mahatmyam. The rishis headed by Shaunak Rishi are saying, Asmadhanubhava Gocharikrtam. I have directly experienced and perceived the glories of Mahanidhi, the great treasure of Sādhu-saṅga, about which I have spoken earlier. In other words, by having your personal association, Srila Sutta Goswāmī, we have now understood its glory. Srila Shukadeva Goswāmī is Bhagavat Sangi. He has attained the association of Bhagavan. And you are his Sangi. You have associated with Srila Shukadeva Goswāmī. Thus, by having the association of a Bhagavad Bhakta like you, we have realized that this type of association is Mahanidhi, a great treasure. It is a great treasure, and that its glory, which we have experienced, is indeed wonderful. What more can we say? Who is Bhagavat Sangino? Sanginaha. That's supposed to be an H with a dot under it. Who is Bhagavat Sanginaha? The Bhaktas. They always remain with Bhagavan. They never live outside his association. People may ask, if the Bhaktas are Bhagavan's associates, they ought to reside in Bhagavan's eternal abode. Why then are they living here? But wherever the Bhaktas may reside, whether it be here or elsewhere, they remain forever with Bhagavan. Hiranyakashipu questioned his son Prahlad Maharaj. You are always chanting Hari Hari, but where is your Hari? Prahlad Maharaj replied, my Hari is everywhere. Hiranyakashipu then asked, Can you see him everywhere? I have searched for him everywhere, but I was unable to find him. If I had found him, I would have killed him. But you are saying that he is everywhere. Are you actually seeing Hari everywhere? Is he in this pillar? Can you see him in this pillar? Prahlāda Mahārāja replied, "Yes, he is in the pillar." Hiranyakashipu then struck the pillar with his fist and broke it, and the Shringadev appeared. Just see, Prahlāda Mahārāja lived in Hiranyakashipu's kingdom, and despite being in the dynasty of a demon, he was always associating with Bhagavan and always having his darshan. Even when Hiranyakashipu was torturing Prahlāda in various ways, Bhagavan at all times kept the boy in his lap. When Prahlāda was made to sit in fire, was thrown in water, and was placed under the feet of an elephant, Bhagavan always kept him in his lap and protected him. Those devotees who gained entrance into Bhagavan's eternal pastimes, Bhagavan's Nitya Lila, reside in Bhagavan's abode as his eternal associates. By the will of Bhagavan, however, such associates also come and reside in this world. During their sojourn here also, they are not without Bhagavan's association. They always remain with him. Thus, even while in this world, they are to be regarded as associates of the Lord. They never leave Bhagavan. Therefore, Śrīla Chakrabarti Pad has written that Bhagavat Sanginaha refers to the bhaktas. But who are those bhaktas? Who are those bhaktas who always live with Bhagavan and with whom Bhagavan always resides? This is a separate topic of discussion. The value of only a moment's association. Tesham sangasya means the association of such type of bhaktas. Yolava means for a very short time, that is 1/11th of a second. Such association, even if only momentary, cannot be compared to attaining swarga, the fruit of karma. By following the path of karma, people hope to reach swarga, believing swarga to be the highest goal and the topmost fruit of karma. Apunar bhavam mokshang cha. Apunar bhavam refers to moksha, the fruit of gyan. Wait, did we? Yeah, we did. Okay, sorry. By cultivating gyan, people hope to attain moksha. But na tulayama, the fruits of karma and gyan, cannot be measured against the fruit of even a moment's association with a Bhagavad Bhakta. But people do not readily put their faith in the result attained by 1/11th of a second of such association. And this kind of good fortune does not easily come their way also. Therefore it is said, Na tulayama martyanam tucha rishino rajadhyo kimuta. How then can it be compared with an insignificant worldly kingdom of mortal beings? The rishis, headed by Shanak Rishi, are now asking rhetorically, why is it that I do not wish to make any comparison with Sādhu-saṅga? What result is in fact obtained by the association of Bhagavan Sangi for even a very short time? What result is obtained from that association? What of significant value is gained in such a brief interval that cannot be measured against the attainment of swarga and moksha? Param durlabhaya bhakteran ankuro hridudbhavata iti bhavo. Bhava. What is obtained is a supremely rare commodity known as bhakti. It cannot be attained even by thousands of different types of sadhan, including the sadhans performed on the paths of karma, gyan, and yoga. This is because bhakti is param durlabha, the rarest among all rarities. But it is that Sādhu-saṅga that manifests within one's heart, the sprout of this extremely rare bhakti. This is the result of associating with a Bhagavad Bhakta for even a very short time. What to speak of associating with such a personality over a prolonged period? Tatra bhakte sadhanasyapi sadhu-saṅgasya lavinapi karma jnana de phalang sampurnamapi. Sadhu-saṅga is the sadhan of bhakti. Whatever is achieved by sadhu-saṅga for a very little time cannot be compared against even the complete fruits of karma and jnana. Sadhu-saṅga is a method to achieve bhakti, and the fruits of karma and jnana in their entirety do not even bear comparison with the result of obtaining sadhu-saṅga for a single moment. Kimuta bahukala vyapina sadhu-saṅgena. And what can be said about the result one derives from sadhu-saṅga and bhakti sadhan over a long time? They are kimuta, truly incomparable. Even if bhakti sadhan in the form of sadhu-saṅga is momentary, it has no comparison. Kimutattaram tatphalabhutaya bhaktya. Now the word kimutattaram, still more incomparable, is being used. The rishis are saying that this describes the nature of bhakti attained as a result of performing bhakti sadhan, that is sadhu-saṅga. And finally, the word kimutattama, most incomparable, is used. This word is being used denoting the highest fruit of bhakti, namely prem. When, as a result of bhakti, prem is attained, then where is the question of drawing any possible comparison? There simply cannot be any comparison whatsoever. The words kimuta, kimutattara, and kimutattama are in the positive, comparative, and superlative degrees, respectively. The suffix tara is also used to convey the sense of still more incomparable, and the tama is the sense of most incomparable. Thus, the highest idea is gradually revealed. Tatatra sambhavanartak lota tolene sambhavanameva na kurma. Someone may submit that whatever has been said previously is merely speculative, and that now some type of objective scale should be used to make verifiable comparisons. To this, Shanak Rishi replies, "But I have no wish to compare sadhu-saṅga against the attainment of swarga and moksha on a scale, setting aside the fact that such task is actually impossible." Why? What is the harm of such a comparative analysis? For what purpose should I do it? Shanak Rishi asks. He further states rhetorically, Nahi meru na sarshapam kashchitulayati. Can any meaningful comparison be made between a mountain and a sesame seed? In other words, it is quite sufficient simply to observe the incomparable nature of the two. No one in his right mind will think it necessary to place on the two, to place a sesame seed and a mountain on either side of a scale. That which is widely accepted, bahuvachanena bahunam samatya, cannot be denied by anyone. Naishwar to kenachid apramani kartu. Oh God, shaktaye. It's so hard to read without proper diacritics. That is, one is simply unable to reject or disregard it. Sadhu-saṅga more powerful than associating with Bhagavan. Now the potency of Bhagavad Bhaktas will be highlighted further. Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Ityanena. Na tatasya bhavet klesho bandash chanya prasangata. Yoshit sangar yata pungso yata tat sanga sangata. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad here offers an analogy from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 14, verse 30, to elucidate the nature of sadhu-saṅga. He explains that by associating with a woman, one is afflicted by bondage. But yata tat sanga sangata. The association of one whom associates with women is in fact more harmful than the direct association of a woman. Why? Because by knowing that the association of women will bind one, a person can at least try to remain aloof from such association. More harmful is the company of a man who associates with women, as greater bondage comes from such a relationship. For this reason, that makes sense. For this reason, it has similarly been said, Vishayer anna kaile malin hoy man. By eating grains, foodstuffs given by a worldly person, a sense enjoyer, one's mind becomes polluted, and with such a contaminated mind, one cannot perform bhajan of Sri Krishna. In this regard, it is also harmful to accept anything from a person who associates with women. There is a danger in associating with such a person. Associating with women is harmful, but association with persons addicted to associating with women is more harmful. Similarly, associating with bhaktas of Bhagavan is more powerful than associating with Bhagavan himself. One attains auspiciousness by associating with Bhagavan, but one attains greater auspiciousness by associating with his bhaktas. This same fact was explained by Dhruva Mahārāja when he attained the darshan of Bhagavan. At that time, Bhagavan asked him to accept any benediction. Dhruva said, "My only request is that I should always have the association of your bhaktas. I do not desire anything else." Bhagavan replied, "What is this? You have finally attained me, and now having attained this, you again desire the association of my bhaktas?" Dhruva said, "O Prabhu, if I had not attained the association of your bhaktas, then how could I have to find? Sorry, oops. Let me reread that. If I had not attained the association of your bhaktas, then how could I have attained your association today? I would have deviated from the path of attaining you by committing some offense. And even now, how will it be possible for me to remain in your company if I am without the association of your bhaktas? At any time I may commit some offense and lose your association. Thus, the association of bhaktas is more powerful than the association of Bhagavan himself. This has been made clear. Since we are unable to understand this, the harmful effects of associating with a woman and with a man who associates with a woman has been illustrated. Of the two, the later harm is the greater. But although people may hear this, do they pay any regard? Iti Yoshita-saṅga tapi Yoshit Sangdinam Sango Yatati Nindya Uktaha. Just as associating with a man who associates with a woman has been denounced in Srimad Bhagavatam as more condemnable than associating with a woman, even though it's been denounced as more bad than associating with a woman, so associating with a Bhagavad Bhakta has been glorified as more virtuous, advantageous, and desirable than associating with Bhagavan directly. Indeed, there is nothing more virtuous and desirable than Sādhu-saṅga. Through such association, all one's desires are fulfilled. Our inability to actually associate. Real sadhus, however, are extremely rare and therefore difficult to find. And if they are found, it is very difficult to associate with them in the real sense. Although people of this world may attain the association of a Bhagavad Bhakta, they remain unable to comprehend his bhavdhara, line of thought, that is, his moods. We may, by the accumulation of previous sukriti, come close physically to a Bhagavad Bhakta, but we then discover that we cannot associate with him in any real sense. If those who have attained the Sangha of Bhagavad Bhaktas find themselves unable to benefit from it, what can be said of the predicament of those who have not even attained such Sangha? Why is this so? Why can we not properly associate with Bhagavad Bhaktas despite being in their company? Sangha means samyak rupena anugaman, or samyak rupena gaman, to completely follow the Bhagavad Bhakta. It is difficult for us to comply with their instructions. Moreover, the foundation of Sangha is priti. Without priti, there can be no Sangha. We go to the market and see, meet and talk with many people. But can this be called Sangha? No. Priti is the real requirement. What is priti? Śrīrūpa Gosvāmī has written, Tadati pratigrinati guhyam akyati prichati bhunkte bhojayate chaiva shardvidam pritilakshanam. Sri Upadeshamrita verse 4. Offering pure devotees items in accordance with the requirements, accepting remnants given by pure devotees, revealing to devotees one's confidential realizations concerning bhajan, inquiring from them about their confidential realizations, eating with great love the prasad remnants given by devotees, and lovingly feeding them prasad. These are the 6 symptoms of loving association with pure devotees. Are we able to deal with Bhagavad Bhaktas with these 6 symptoms of priti? We can have these 6 exchanges with worldly people, but not with Bhagavad Bhaktas, because Maya does not let us do so. Such is the oppression of Maya, that she will not allow us to associate with sadhus. Hence, the Sangha of Bhagavad Bhaktas is very rare. We are unable to attain it even after attaining their company. This is our misfortune. Why is this so? Man is a Sanghi, associate of Maya. Yes, we are the Sanghi, we are the associate of Maya, and likes associating with her. Ordinary people may come close to a Bhagavad Bhakta, but they will prefer to discuss worldly topics with him and go away. They are not influenced by his association. It is very difficult for them. Therefore, it is said that the result of associating with a Bhagavad Bhakta for a single moment cannot be compared to the attainment of Svarga and Moksha. What a significant matter! What a precious commodity is Sādhu-saṅga! Is such a highly worshipable and desirable thing attained in the course of everyone's fate? It is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 22:54, Sādhu-saṅga, Sādhu-saṅga, sarva shastre koi, lava matra Sādhu-saṅge, sarva siddhi hoy. The verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment's association with a sadhu, one can attain all success. Smearing one's body with a sadhu's foot dust. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Bharat Maharaj speaks as follows to King Rahugana. Rahuganaita tapasa nayate nache jaya nirvapanar grihadva nachandasa naiva jalagni susuryar vina mahat pada rajobhishekam. Srimad Bhagavatam 5:12-12. How significant are the words spoken by Bharat Maharaj to King Rahugana. O Rahugana, you want to know Bhagavan, but you cannot be known by austerity, tapasya, nor by worship, nor by giving up one's home, nor indeed by living in one's home. He cannot be known by reciting the Vedas, nor by worshipping the demigods such as the sun god, Varuna, and so on. Why? Because Vina Mahatpada Rajobhishekam. As long as one does not smear himself with the foot dust of the Mahat, greatly saintly personalities, one cannot achieve any result by performing all these other activities. So one should first seek the Sangha of a great saintly personality, and only when one can smear himself with the foot dust of this personality can Bhagavan be known to him. Prahlad Maharaj gave the same instruction to the sons of his guru. Naishnam matistavar urukramang griya. Sorry, I should know this verse. This is a very common verse, but I don't. So Naishnam matistavar urukramar urukramangri sprishyat nityanartha pagamo yadartha mahiyasang padarajobhishekang nishkinchana navrinitayavat. That says vrinita. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.32. Prahlāda Mahārāja told the sons of his teacher that they should give up everything. What benefit can you derive from your father Shukracharya, who you consider to be a great pundit? He asked. His consciousness is unable to touch the lotus feet of Bhagavan, who performs uncommon activities. These lotus feet have the effect of removing a person's anarthas and awarding him complete perfection. They deliver to him his prayojan, or his goal. So how can we attain Bhagavan? Can everyone attain him? Mahi yashang pada rajobhishekam. One must smear himself with the dust of the lotus feet of a Mahat, a saintly personality. Who is such a saintly personality? Niskinchanana. Na vrinita yavat. One who possesses no wealth other than Bhagavan. As long as we do not accept and smear upon our bodies the foot dust of a Niskinchan Mahapurush, we will achieve nothing at all. The essence of the whole subject, in the language of my Guru Pad Padma Śrīla Bhakti Siddhāntī Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, is that the jiva's supreme auspiciousness comes about by hearing Harikatha and Sādhu-saṅga. This is because Sādhu-saṅga is the sole means to attain Krishna Bhakti. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mul Hoy Sādhu-saṅga. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 2284. The root cause of Bhakti to Sri Krishna is association with sadhus. Hare Krishna. Original Bengali lecture transcribed and translated into English. Audio recording courtesy of the disciples of Shri Srimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswāmī Mahārāja. Oh, and here's a little bio of him. About the speaker. The very embodiment of Bhakti, Shri Srimad Bhakti Śrīrūpa Siddhāntī Goswāmī Mahārāja was one of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada's foremost disciples. As Siddha-sarup Brahmachari, he once created an uproar in an assembly of followers of Vivekananda and Ramakrishna by exposing them as charlatans, inducing the people to assail him with slogans and stones. His godbrothers reported this disturbance in their preaching to Srila Prabhupada, but to their surprise, he was thrilled to hear of such fearless and uncompromising preaching of the truth. Srila Prabhupada then himself came to that town and called for another assembly. He now called upon Siddha-sarup Brahmachari to defeat the philosophy of Vivekananda, which he did, point for point. This time the people lauded him. Śrīla Bhakti Śrīrūpa Siddhāntī Goswāmī Mahārāja was very close with his godbrother Śrīla Bhakti Vivek Bharati Mahārāja, whom he honored as his Shiksha Guru. After Srila Prabhupada's appearance, they jointly founded the Sri Saraswat Gaudiya Asan and Mission. Śrīla Bhakti Śrīrūpa Siddhāntī Goswāmī Mahārāja's worked. Anyways, I think there's a problem with the English. He worked tirelessly in the service of his Gurudev, and this is reflected in his outstanding literary contribution. By translating Srila Baldev Vijayabhushan Prabhu's Sri Govinda Bhashya into Bengali, he satisfied one of his Gurudev's unfulfilled inner desires. He also wrote commentaries on the 12 principal Upanishads, and translated Srila Baldev Vijayabhushan's and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad's Sanskrit commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, for which the Gaudiya Vaishnava community remains deeply indebted. Jai Srila Bhakti Śrīrūpa Siddhāntī Goswāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. All right, they started serving up prasad like 15 minutes ago, so I'm just going to do a quick Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Dharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki jai, Nityarupa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shrimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswāmī Mahārāja Srila Gurudev ki jai, Nityarupa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shrimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswāmī Mahārāja ki jai, Nityarupa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shrimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Mahārāja Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nityarupa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shrimad Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswāmī Mahārāja ki jai, Nityarupa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shrimad Srila Bhakti Siddhāntī Saraswati Goswāmī Prabhupada ki jai, Nityarupa Vishnu Maha Bhagavat Srila Gokshara Babaji Maharaj ki jai, Nityarupa Vishnu Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai, Nityarupa Vishnu Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai, Śrīrūpa Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai, Śrīrūpa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Padadas Raghunath Shar Goswami Prabhu ki jai, Shri Swarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gopal Shad Vrinda ki jai, Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Sarva Abhishta Bharata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund ki jai, Shri Muna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Nityarupa Vishnu Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Śrīrūpa Siddhāntī Goswāmī Mahārāja ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Dandava pranams, devotees, Hari Bol. Actually, the next shloka that we're going to be learning in our shloka group, tomorrow we're supposed to be doing the Sharanagati verse, Anukulyasa Sankalpa, but then after that, we're going to learn the Sādhu-saṅga verses. So I'm happy we read this, preparing ourselves for the shlokas. Hari Bol.